Have you ever heard the story of a man who tried to build paradise right here on Earth? It's a tale that echoes through the ages, a story of ambition, power, and a lesson that remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. This is the story of Shaddad ibn Ad and his legendary city, Iram of the Pillars. Our story begins long, long ago in the ancient land of Ad, a place known for its magnificent structures and powerful tribes. Ruling over this land was a king named Shaddad ibn Ad. Shaddad wasn't just any king. He was the most powerful ruler of his time. His wealth was immense, his armies were vast, and his influence stretched far and wide. No one in his kingdom, or even in the surrounding lands, could match his strength, his riches, or his authority. He lived in a grand palace surrounded by luxury, and his every command was instantly obeyed. To his people, he seemed invincible, a man who had everything one could possibly desire. One day, while holding court, Shaddad heard descriptions of paradise, the celestial garden promised to the righteous. He listened to tales of a place beyond the sky, a realm of unimaginable beauty and eternal bliss. He was told of palaces not made of stone or wood, but of shimmering pearls and lustrous gems. He heard of trees with trunks of gold and branches of silver, bearing fruits sweeter than anything on earth. He imagined rivers flowing not with water, but with pure milk, golden honey, and fragrant nectars. The descriptions captivated him, but not in the way you might think. Instead of feeling a sense of awe or a desire for spiritual reward, a different emotion began to stir within him: pride. A dangerous, all-consuming pride. As he sat on his throne, a thought took root in his mind. He looked at his own vast wealth, his powerful armies, and the magnificent kingdom he commanded. He felt a surge of arrogance. Why should he wait for a paradise in the afterlife? Why should he humble himself before a power he couldn't see, when he held so much power in his own hands? He stood before his court, his voice booming with defiance, and made a declaration that would seal his fate. "If there is such a paradise in the heavens," he proclaimed, "then I, Shaddad, will build one of my own right here on this earth. A paradise that will rival the one in the sky, a testament to my power and glory for all to see." And so, the most ambitious construction project in the history of the world began. Shaddad's decree went out to every corner of his vast empire. He summoned his most skilled architects, his most brilliant engineers, and his strongest builders. He sent his agents to the farthest reaches of the known world to gather every precious material imaginable: gold, silver, pearls, rubies, emeralds, diamonds, and fragrant musk. Nothing was too expensive or too rare. He declared, "Build me a city the likes of which no human eye has ever seen before. A garden that will make the legends of paradise pale in comparison." For years, which turned into decades, the work continued relentlessly. An entire generation of people knew nothing but the construction of Shaddad's paradise. Thousands upon thousands of workers toiled under the sun. They leveled a vast, perfect square of land in the great desert of Adan. They dug foundations deep into the earth and laid bricks not of clay, but of solid gold and silver, alternating in a dazzling display of wealth. The walls of the city rose high, and within them, palaces were erected. These were not ordinary palaces. Their walls were encrusted with precious stones. Their floors were paved with a mixture of musk and amber, which released a beautiful fragrance with every step. Outside the palaces, a magnificent garden was planted. But these were no ordinary trees. Their trunks were crafted from pure gold, their branches from silver, and instead of leaves, they were adorned with clusters of pearls, emeralds, and rubies that glittered in the sun. Beneath these fantastical trees, canals were dug. Through them flowed not water, but rivers of crystal-clear honey and pure, sweet milk. The ground was covered not with soil, but with saffron and crushed gemstones that sparkled like a field of stars. The city was a breathtaking, almost unbelievable sight. It was a monument to human ambition and excess, a shimmering jewel in the heart of the desert. They called it Iram, the city of pillars, for the magnificent, towering columns that held up its grand structures. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the message reached Shaddad. "Your Majesty, your paradise is complete." The king's heart swelled with pride. The moment he had been waiting for had arrived. He assembled his entire court, his mightiest generals, and his most loyal soldiers. Dressed in his finest robes, adorned with jewels, he set out with a grand procession to inaugurate his earthly paradise. The caravan was a spectacle in itself, a river of people and animals stretching for miles across the desert, all heading towards the glittering city of Iram. As they drew closer, the city appeared on the horizon like a mirage, shimmering with an otherworldly light. The golden walls and jeweled trees were even more spectacular than he had imagined. His dream, his defiant challenge to the heavens, was a reality. He could almost taste the triumph. Shaddad and his grand procession finally arrived at the gates of Iram. The gates themselves were massive, crafted from a rare, fragrant wood and inlaid with gold. The air was thick with the scent of musk and saffron. He dismounted from his horse, his foot poised to take the very first step into his creation, the city built to defy God. He was a single day's journey away, about to claim his ultimate prize. But in that very moment, as he raised his foot to cross the threshold, a terrifying, deafening sound split the sky. It was a single, mighty cry, a blast that seemed to come from the heavens itself, shaking the very foundations of the earth. In that instant, everything stopped. The mighty King Shaddad, who believed himself to be all-powerful, fell to the ground, his life extinguished before he could even set foot in his own paradise. And it wasn't just him. Every single person in his massive procession, his soldiers, his courtiers, his servants, was struck down. The proud army that had marched to celebrate his triumph now lay silent in the dust. Not a single soul was spared. The city of Iram, built with so much effort, so much wealth, and so much arrogance, stood empty. Its creator and all his followers were punished for their hubris at the very gates of their ambition. And what became of the magnificent city? Iram of the pillars, the paradise built on earth, was never entered. It was left standing, silent and beautiful, in the middle of the desert. But its fate was to be forgotten. By divine will, the sands of the desert began to shift and blow. Over time, the great sand dunes rose and covered the city, hiding it from human sight. Iram, the city that was meant to be a symbol of everlasting glory, became a lost city, buried beneath the desert. It vanished from the maps and from the eyes of the world, preserved only in stories and legends passed down from generation to generation. It became a cautionary tale, a whispered legend of a king who dared to challenge the heavens and paid the ultimate price. The story of Shaddad and his lost city of Iram is more than just an ancient legend. It's a powerful reminder for all of us. It teaches us that no amount of worldly wealth, no grand palace, and no earthly power can ever replace true faith, humility, and good character. Shaddad had everything a person could want: gold, power, a kingdom at his feet. But in his pride, he lost sight of what truly matters. He tried to build a paradise of gold and silver, forgetting that true paradise is not something you can build with your hands. It's something you build within your heart. It's found in kindness, in helping others, in living a life of purpose and gratitude. The shimmering palaces of Iram are a symbol of fleeting, material desires, while the enduring lesson is that real, lasting peace and happiness come from a pure heart and good actions. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. I hope this story gave you something to think about. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories from history and legend. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Shaddad's story. Until next time, stay curious and be well.